Good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to High Top Sports Recruiting. I am Cody, the professor, and today we're going to go over some stuff that's happened in the last 24 hours, what's going to be happening in the next 24 hours. We'll go ahead and get right into it, but first, we are powered by Bet US. Wonderful sponsors. Go ahead, check the description. The link in the description should be in there. And boy, oh boy, we are so excited to have BetUS. But let's go ahead and talk about it. So, Coach Prime and the Buffs squeaked by a very, very good North Dakota State last night. Extremely interesting game, I would say. I will say this about the game. I was kind of expecting more of a difference in the first game with Colorado. I thought that the O line would probably be a little bit better than what they were. I thought that that the defensive line, which did step up at times, was going to be a lot better. I mean, I know DB wise, wide receiver wise, very talented. Travis Hunter just absolutely was electric on the field. Obviously the quarterback situation at Colorado, very, very good. But I with Shador, I ask how many hits can he take, and that's the question to me. How many hits can Shador take? Because he took a bunch last night, and I'm just wondering. I thought that this would be a better offensive line, and I get it's week one. They have time to get it going. And North Dakota State, minus the blunder of the play calling not getting in at the last 30 seconds, taking a delay a game on a game-winning drive. You can't do that. They played a very, very good game. Came out swinging at the very beginning. Colorado goes ahead and tightens that defense back up, and they seem to lock it down. But my concern with Colorado was the O-line, and I will say this. I was not impressed. I was not impressed. It doesn't look like, even with the transfers, it doesn't look like that they have made a step up from last year. They can't run the ball. Pat Shurmur's going to have to figure out a way to scheme around it with screenplays, maybe some orbital stuff, getting some pop passes, keeping that defensive line not just locked in on Shador. Because if not, I'm not sure Shador's going to make it an entire season with the amount of hits he's going to take. Definitely looked thicker, definitely looked a lot more mature. Body is definitely filling out. He put 15, 20 pounds on, definitely thicker in the trunk. But I will say this, I don't know if he's going to be able to take the amount of hits that he will take this year if they cannot figure out this offensive line at Colorado. Now, I will say this, hats off to North Dakota State. You probably won't get a week one opponent like that again because you came out swinging. Very well-coached team. Obviously, with Travis Hunter just going absolutely nuts. Horn also made a couple big catches. Go ahead and just say hi in the comments if you're watching. But, I just thought there was going to be a step up. I thought there was going to be a step up in defensive line play. I saw towards the end a little bit. They started figuring some stuff out. But the offensive line has not gotten any better. And that is the question going forward. Can Colorado and Coach Prime figure out that offensive line? Because when they get into Big 12 play, they might be hurting. And I don't want Shador to get hurt. He's an NFL top tier NFL draft prospect, and I just think I don't know if he can take the amount of hits as what he's going to. So that's my little thing on Colorado, North Dakota State. Heck of a game. Absolutely incredible. I love that game. But the question going forward is that offensive line. Can Pat Shurmur, the offensive coordinator, start figuring out some stuff to scheme around the bad offensive line with some screens, with some orbital stuff? They got to get that run game going. They have running backs. They just are ineffective against a North Dakota State, which is a very, very good program, but is not at the talent level of who they are going to play this year, going through that Big 12 gauntlet of teams. There are some true athletes at the Big 12 on the defensive line. I don't know if Colorado's gonna win any more games than they did last year until they get that offensive line figured out. And I'm gonna say this about Colorado: they are playing with just, I mean, they are riding on that razor's edge of being one injury. They are one injury away to one of those star players, Horn, uh, Shamar, Horn, and then obviously the wide receiver, quarterback combo to really be in a world of hurt. Like Shamar and not Shamar. Man, I'm blanking. Anyway, that's enough with Colorado. All right, now we're gonna get into PJ Fleck. Now, Minnesota lost a game last night, probably because of PJ Fleck's coaching call the last play of the game. So, very very tight game with North Carolina. Extremely tight. They are going down to win the game. Their kicker had already dunked one off of the right side off the field goal. He hit the field goal post, and I wonder, why would you place the ball on that right hash again? So let's go through the scenario. They call a run play. There's like 15, 20 seconds left. They got one timeout left. They're about as far as they're going to get into field goal range. So they call a run play, and they they run dive right, and they stick it on the right hash after the kicker had already missed. He had already missed to the right and hit the field goal post, and it's absolutely just, I don't know what happened. Why, I don't know why you don't put it on the left hash. Anyway, he goes ahead, he kicks the ball, and it fades right, just misses barely, and obviously the Gophers lose the game. Now, that is coaching. You're going to say, Cody, but he still missed the kick. I understand he missed the kick, but it was so close. If they would have had it in the middle and or left hash, if they would have ran dive left instead and put it on the left hash, they could have won that game. That's coaching. And PJ Fleck is known for being a very smart person. I just wonder if these coaches are getting too much in analytics. They're not going with their gut, and they're not using common sense. If my kicker kicks one right and hits the field goal post, I'm going to get that ball to the left as possible so he has enough air room to possibly make that kick, not run dive right and put it on the far right hash. I just don't understand what PJ Fleck was thinking. I don't understand what the offensive coordinator was thinking when it came to that. Why would you do that? I just don't get it. And so it upsets me when teams really grind away, and it upsets fans when a coach causes a game loss. And I feel like PJ has to take the loss for this one. You run dive left. If he misses it, then he misses it. That's on the kid. But you did not, as a coach, you were putting your players in the best position to win. Did you put that kicker in the best position to win when you ran the ball right, stuck that ball on the right hash after he had already missed one right, hit the field goal post right? I can't say you did. I think you put him in a bad situation for the game winner. Run dive left or whatever, and get that ball as far to the left as you can so he's got more room to make the kick. And so now Minnesota, instead of being 1-0, lost to North Carolina last night in an absolute dogfight. And quarterback play for North Carolina has definitely dropped off now that Drake May isn't there. That is a different team. Defense is pretty solid. I don't know if they're going to be that successful this year. It's going to take a while because from what I saw last night, it didn't seem like they had the juice to go down and score. They're going to be relying on that defense. That's fine. Minnesota got the running back out of OU. Very, very good kid. He seems like a very good Big Ten running back or style running back. They might win some games. Again, it's the Big Ten. It's 3 yards in a cloud of dust. But PJ Fleck, you got to be sick this morning or this afternoon when you look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, did I make the right decision? Did I use common sense and did I go with my gut and see, you know, why did I not put that ball in the left hash? I'm talking this kick was missed by a foot or two. You push that ball to the left hash, he kicks it in. You guys are 1-0. But guys, let's go ahead. We're going to check out some lines real fast from our sponsor, Bet US. So excited to be with them. Let's go ahead. Let's see what we got. I already have some pending wagers. I took the under. I've been pounding the under all week. I did take money line North Dakota State over Colorado, but that was my one loss. But let's go ahead. Let's see what we have for this week coming up with college football. Super excited about this week. A lot of big games. Georgia Clemson, somebody that we're going to talk about here in a minute, and then Florida Miami, another one. A lot of good games. Let's go ahead and check it out by our proud sponsors, Bet US. College football. Let me pull it up real fast. Hold on. All right. Let's see what we got. All right. Go ahead if you're in the chat watching. Tell me what you guys think. I think I'm going to take the under TCU Stanford 59.5 points. I don't know, week one, offenses are clunky. We really even haven't had a very high-scoring game the last couple games. They have all been down to the wire, all been tight. I'm pounding the under of the Stanford TCU game. I'm going to stay away from Temple, Oklahoma. I don't think I want to get anywhere near that. Oklahoma can score a bunch of points in a hurry. I'm staying away from the under. I'm staying away from the money line. I'm staying away from all of it. My next game, obviously being a Florida fan, I'm gonna bet Florida Miami. I'm super excited about that. I'm gonna take Florida with the money line, and I'm also, let me see where they are. Saturday 3:30. Oh, they don't have them up here. They might be down lower. I'm going to take Florida money line. And then Clemson, Georgia. I'm probably going to take the under. I know 48.5. I know Georgia can score, but again, first week, offense can be very, very clunky. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to take under the 48.5. We'll see next week how I fare out between the teams. But let's go ahead and get into Georgia Clemson. So, Georgia Clemson, very interesting team. I think it's a heck of a matchup for week one, right? We've been waiting for college football to finally hit. We got a little taste last week with week 0, and then we got week one, the early games. You know, Colorado, North Dakota State was a good one. I watched the Minnesota UNC game, very, very good, tight, close to the wire, a lot of tight games. I don't know if this one's going to be as tight. I'm not 100% in Cape Klubnik yet. I don't know if they have the weapons to beat that Georgia defense deep. I know they have a good running back, but Georgia is going to stop the run, and they're going to make them throw, I feel like. And I think that Georgia pass rush that we have seen on this channel year after year, bringing in elite talent on the defensive line, speed on the linebackers, I think it's going to be too much for Clemson to deal with offensively. Now, is Georgia going to go out and throttle them like they did Florida State in the bowl game? I don't think so. I think Clemson's going to play a very sound team. These are two coaches that really, really know each other. They know they're both styles. Clemson, with with Dabo and Kirby Smart. I truthfully think that this is going to be a close game. I think it's going to be Georgia by a touchdown and a field goal, maybe. I don't think it's going to be a throttling. Georgia on the offense. The question I have is wide receiver. They lost obviously Thomas with some legal issues. They lost Ladd to the draft. They lost their big tight end to the draft. I just don't know what they have coming to, who's going to be the alpha and step up and be a number one wide receiver for them. I don't know. I know they got 5 stars everywhere. I know they have talent. I know they have depth. I know Carson Beck is a dang good quarterback, probably the second best quarterback minus Shador right now I think they're 1A, 1B right now in college football. I will say this though, I know they can run the ball. I know Georgia will run the ball. They have a trio of backs. They got Etienne from Florida. They got a freshman back that's going to be very, very, very good. He will probably get some touches, and I know that they got some other guys. And my question is in the wide receiver room. I know they got some good tight ends, but my question is the wide receiver room. Who's going to step up for Georgia? Who's going to be the alpha? Who's going to be the number one wide receiver? I know they have talent, but I don't know who Carson Beck is going to go to when the game is on the line. You need a first down or you need a big touchdown. You know, he had McConkey last year. He's had tight ends, very good tight ends in the past, but I just don't know who's going to be that guy. Run game, I'm not worried about. Defense, I'm not worried about. Wide receivers, I am worried about. And then Georgia's defensive line, I think, is going to be young. I think they're going to rotate a lot of players in there. I do think that it's going to be a kind of a trial run of the best player is going to get to play. I think that was a spot last year that they kind of had some problems on the internal side. They definitely got some kids. They're going to be freshmen, but we have seen Bain and Perkinson and a couple other freshmen come in and be very, very good as a freshman and be successful, even at a high level like the SEC and the ACC. So my question is who's going to be those starters in the middle? They have speed at linebacker. They have DBs. They get the best DBs in the nation every single year. Not worried about that. Just that internal defensive line I am worried about. Now with Clemson, I'm gonna say this. I think that Clemson can go in and win this game. I do. I don't think it's a if you're Clemson, you're just gonna hang your hat and say, well, it's Georgia, we're not gonna win. If you can go out and you can punch Georgia early, you can get the run game established very, very fast and score early and make this Georgia offense go after you and score with you. I think that's the formula to beat Georgia. I don't know of a, like I said, their wide receiver. I don't know of one that is going to be that 1A guy yet. I think you could rattle Carson Beck with not having that. I know that obviously they've had some issues, and my question is for Georgia, are these culture issues going to start showing up from all the driving incidents? Is that going to start showing up on the field? Could that be this year? Could we see the fall of Kirby Smart and what he's built there because the team is not locked in? Clemson, Georgia, going to be a heck of a game, week 1. So this is going to be a little bit shorter episode, about 20 minutes. I appreciate you guys watching. I am Cody the Professor, and we are proud sponsored by BetUS. Super excited. Go ahead, like, subscribe as always, and we will see you later.